Hello and welcome back to Regiments. You watched last time, we did a good job holding out, and we have to hold out for one more phase. We took some losses, so let's go ahead and reinforce our units. I'll skip these guys because we've got enough left. And we're really not going to have the operational authority to add much to our force. We've got 75 points, or 79 points. And we're going to spend that on deployment points, get as many units in the battle as we can. Because if we look at the operation log, we get some text here. And we see here a Soviet tank element has been rerouted to help the Volk's army force the breakthrough in your sector. Muster all the anti-tank defenses you can. And here's a cool note about the Belgian and British units on this front during the conflict, or I guess hypothetical conflict. So with that, let's see what events we've got. Now we know we're going to be facing some tank-heavy units. Movement speed reduced by 15% for all units patches of fog. Air tactical aids are 50% cheaper. Extra barrage. This is interesting. If we look at what we've got, let's see, we've got 2 air tactical aids. So if maybe we should go with the air superiority and take those cheaper airstrikes. Let's see how this goes. So we left the map in pretty good shape last time. We see there are 4 possible points or 3 possible points they can attack from, all up at the top of the map here. And we have Shendon held down with a Weasel Toe unit. That's going to need to be reinforced. We've got Leopards over here. Scorpion and Jaguar over at Echo. And then we have an AIFV C-25 with infantry moving through the middle. So our 2 objectives are going to be to take Yaoundé and then hold these points here, Shendon and Buren. Echo can fall if it has to, but I'd prefer to hold on to it. So the first thing to do is, well, we can't move these guys right away. So we've got 175 points. Let's get our Spartan Voltigeurs plus ATGM ready. So now we have 3 units that we can hit Yaoundé with. And next we've got 100 points left. So I'm going to put down some mortars here. And these mortars should help us just support any attacks that we have, especially going on over here, or put some fire on enemies coming in. Just now that we can set our orders up, let's get the Fusiliers up to Shaden, so that we have infantry there and not just the Weasel. I think these guys are set, really. Let's check the line of sight for this Leopard. So yeah, let's move them. Let's actually move our Leopard right here so they get the urban advantage, but they have better line of sight as well. And we have enough points to use any of our tactical aids, should we need to use them. So to start with, I'm going to drop some artillery on Yaoundé, so that we can get some fire coming in and start to suppress them. We already lost a tank, so that is not a good start for us. But they're coming at us fairly hard. That's a little weird, not optimal for them, but I'll take it. And while they're moving, we're going to be hitting them with our mortars. The Panzermörser is going to be dropping fire on them so that they're at least going to be suppressed a little bit and not fully effective in attacking us. So where are we vulnerable here? Usually the AI, I think, attacks along these lines, doesn't come through the middle, but if they come directly at Gulf, that could cut off our units and get us in some trouble. So we're up to 75 points. Who can we call in that would be helpful here? I'm going to call in the Fuchs, just because they're fast and I think they can get to the front in a decent amount of time. Alright, so the BMP-2 is done. This Shilka is going to give our infantry trouble. Shilkas are tough against infantry, and this is a BTR. they're not gonna really damage us much. So let's get in there. We can close the distance with them and really just eliminate that unit without too much risk. The BTR just has a machine gun. I'm going to pull back this infantry unit since they're so heavily damaged to prevent them from being destroyed and so that we can reinforce them and call them back in. So we are taking some fire up here, and luckily we can call in cluster bombs pretty quick here. I'm going to move these leopards over to support. And with the leopard's range and the gun they have, they should be able to put some pretty deadly side shots on these enemies. Hopefully our bombers hit these infantry. There we go. So yeah, that BTR is in trouble. They're not going to last long. Now, who do we have coming in? So we've got the Fuchs coming in. And I am going to put the Fuchs in this wood line, get our infantry dug in so that they could hold. And yeah, let's bring the Spartan right back and get infantry up to Buren. This is what I was worried about from that the flavor text we read at the beginning about an armored attack. Oh, right on cue. It said a battle group was going to be incoming an enemy armored attack. So that is an extremely tough event if you haven't faced it before. It is really concentrated enemy forces. Lots of them. They tend to be some of the stronger units you'll see. So it's not going to be just a horde of T-55s. We'll be facing probably T-72s and some infantry. Hopefully we get our cluster bombers back before we actually face that attack. But for now, let's just sit tight and see how things go. Forgot we also called in our pioneers. Too bad these guys aren't fast. They'd be great as a QRF. But I'm going to move them over to Echo. That's just where I'm seeing an attack. I don't know if that's actually where the main effort's going to come from. Yep, so here they come. I'm going to call in our cluster bombers. So they are trying to flank our leopards. T-80BVs, that's tough. T-80BVs are the second toughest Soviet tanks in the game. They have really strong armor, both frontal and side armor. They have a pretty solid gun. They're just tough to deal with. Even for if you have like really top tier tanks like a Leopard 2 or an Abrams, they're still going to be tough. And then with our Leopard 1s, that's even harder. Oh wow, we're getting hit up here as well. So who can I send? I'm going to get this Fuchs moving. Try to close the gap a little bit so we can get some anti-tank missiles going. But we already took out a couple of these, so that's a good start. And man, we're getting hit with artillery. All right, pulling these Scorpions out before they are completely destroyed and bringing in more Leopards. These Fusiliers are done, so we're gonna have to prepare for a counterattack. Let's see. Can I hit him? Yeah. We'll call in bombers.
Zone lost.
So we did take out a couple of their units. These are T-72s. We can handle those a little bit better. And we do have a lot of points that we are recovering right now.
Zone lost.
So once they refill with our deployment points, we'll be able to call in quite a few units. We just need to buy time until we can do that. Let's see, we're up to 14 tactical points right now. So once we get those filled back up, we can call in the cluster bombers for 18 points. All right, so we're holding. It's not pretty, but we're still here. And the cluster bombers should take out these tanks, hopefully, or at least do a solid number on them. Yeah, these Leopard 1s. Let's get those. Let's get some side shots going on them. On the T-80s. Who can we call in? All right, so the T-80s are out. These are BMP-2s. They're still going to be tough. I think they have like 4 or 5 frontal armor. 3 frontal armor. So a direct hit from our Leopards should take them out. All right, 10 minutes to go. We're not in a rush, but I do want to move. I don't want to sit still and wait. Let's get this mortar back in. And who else? Yeah, we got these Jaegers we can call back in. We're getting hit hard with artillery, so I'm going to pull these Leopards back. And, you know, not really worried about them, just don't want to waste them. Alright, yeah, let's turn these Pioneers around. Since we have a couple of units here, we'll get the cluster bombers in. And that should put an end to these guys pretty quickly. Once they close enough with our Pioneers. No? Pioneers are panicking? Not ideal. So we've got to pull from some other sectors here just to get enough guys in position. These Pioneers are surrounded. Okay. Yeah, so these Scorpions can start hitting the enemies that are out in the open. And it looks like a BRDM-2 plus some BMP-2s. I think our Scorpions should be okay. We recaptured Buren, so let's hold it now. That's our next objective. And the Pioneers just took out that BMP-2 guards unit, so we'll let them withdraw. We are definitely taking more losses than I anticipated. Started when they rolled through with that strong battle group. We got out of the good positions we held, and we're fighting kind of at a disadvantage. That's when we started to take losses. I know I could play a little smarter here and try to hold on. Yeah, what is this? It looks like, I don't know, some kind of artillery strike, like an off-map artillery that we're facing. Got to get real close for these guys for their ATGMs to be effective. So they are taking Golf. Not super worried about it. Yeah, it looks like it's just tactical aids they're calling in, those kinds of strikes. Not like a regular artillery unit.
Zone lost. Five minutes remaining.
So 5 minutes. We've got to see how many of these we can capture before time's up. All right, now they're facing us. It's not what I wanted. And that's just the Lukes back there. They're not going to be useful. So we've got all but 2 points. Huh, we're not hitting these guys at all. They're suppressed from our mortars, but we're not hitting them with our anti-tank weapons. We got to get the unit out. Yeah, they're coming at us hard. But hopefully these cluster bombers will do some damage and we can... Yeah, there we go. These Fusiliers should stop them, and we've got some of our bigger bombers coming in. Let's get these Pioneers up and we'll support an attack by our Leopards. There we go. Those units took a hard hit. But I am worried about the losses we're taking. Wow, I was not prepared for this. We just took a lot of losses. Let's go for it. Let's retake this area. I know we're going to lose Yunde, but I don't have anything I can even send over there right now.
Zone lost. One minute remaining.
Our bombers have been useful here with the airstrikes. I'm generally not too big of a fan of the airstrikes in this game. I don't think they're super effective. If you think about games like Wargame Red Dragon, your airstrikes are going to be game changers. You can take out high value units in one pass, but here not so
Zone
much.
captured.
So our infantry's in cover here. Oh, there we go. I didn't realize that we're that close to ending. So our loss ratio is not as good as we usually see, not even 2 to 1. But our Spartans did work, taking out 2 of those T-80s. Those T-80s really put a hurt on us. Yeah, if we look at, where we saw those losses in the timeline here, T-80, 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 even more. That's what really held us up and kept us from holding on tighter. So we look where we are at the next phase. We've got a lot of losses to replace. We've got 166 operational authority, but we are moving on to the Ulsar Valley, and I believe this is an escort mission. Yeah, they're setting up a new defensive line. Your Kampfgruppe is tasked to cover the retreat. Their comms network is non-existent and ammo is nearly absent, so don't expect them to put up much of a fight. So I remember this mission. We're keeping the road open, trying to cover them as they pull back, and seeing how many units we can get out alive. That's going to be a fun one. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the game, and drop a comment if you have any questions on the game. I love to talk about it. I think this is a great game, and I'm really excited. Hope the dev is going to release some new info about the upcoming DLC soon. Thanks again, and hope you have a good one.